morning. I'm Ellen McSherry, Chief Operating Officer at the NJCPA, and welcome to IssuesWatch Overtime. I'm joined today by Ralph Thomas, the CEO and Executive Director of the NJCPA, and Ed Guttenplan, the Managing Shareholder at Wilkin & Guttenplan, and the 2017-18 President of the NJCPA. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we concluded regular Issues Watch, and we had some other tax topics that we wanted to make sure you were aware of. So the first one is the filing deadline for New Jersey property tax reimbursements has been extended to October 18th. You should also know that the New Jersey Treasury is boosting enforcement to collect more taxes, and you can read more by visiting the link on your screen. So we had some questions that were submitted to us during Issues Watch that we'd like to address at this moment. The first one is, what is the profession doing to educate young professionals about increasing the use of automation in the workplace? And I'm going to ask you to, from your perspective, being a practitioner, what are you seeing and how are you helping your young staff?
Well, we know that there's automation and artificial intelligence and data analytics all coming down the pike. I've met with our young CPAs and staff. We have a future council and we brainstorm these issues, and they're actually seeing it as well. So it's encouraging that the young folks are seeing it coming down the pike. And their question is, how do we prepare ourselves for it? And I think the answer for me is it's not outside the profession that this answer is going to come from. It's from us in the profession. And for me, the answer was, we need to take, what's going to happen is staff are going to need to have advisory skills and consultative skills, much more so now in the early years than they did before, because there's automation to trial balances and journal entries and so on. And with blockchain, there's lots of things coming down the pike. So our staff want to be prepared to understand that, but also be consultative, be able to be a trusted advisor to clients earlier on in their years. And the way that we're proposing to do it, one is training. We're going to have to figure out where and how to train them on some of the more analytical and business skills. But also what we can do is take them with us as we consult with clients, learn how to be a trusted advisor at a much earlier age by role modeling for them and taking them along and helping them understand the process. So it's going to be us inside that's going to try to help them do it by finding some formal training, but also some real experiential learning by taking them along and showing them how to do it sooner.
Makes sense. Ralph, what are you seeing from the academic perspective?
Well, one of the things that certainly the message of about the importance of this topic has been carried by accounting advisory boards. And advisory boards are usually made up of individuals from the profession, from firms and whatnot. And so what they're suggesting is that the curriculums in business schools for accounting majors be changed to include things like data analytics so that individuals are prepared when they come out to be a part of the process, and that they'll be able to interpret the data that's coming out and things of that nature. So we're seeing here in New Jersey a number of our schools are changing their curriculums to include either as a requirement or an optional data analytics. And I think you'll see more folks taking data analytics in the 30-hour component to get to 150 hours. So that's one of the things that when people say, well, what do I take for the additional 30 hours? Certainly something centered around data analytics would be very, very helpful.
Good, thank you. So Ralph, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you foresee that the Reciprocal Tax Agreement between New Jersey and Pennsylvania will be revisited this year?
Well, I don't know if it'll be revisited this year, but certainly I think it's probably a topic that will come on the table when we have a change in administration. Mm-hmm. Again, we go back to our interview with Ambassador Murphy, and he pretty much said everything is going to be on the table, and that's been kind of his consistent theme in all of his talks to various groups out there when he's been asked about, well, what do you think about the estate tax? Would you look to come out? What do you think about the millionaire's tax? And he's kind of said, all things are going to be on the table. So I think it could be revisited when you look at the relationship we have with New York. We don't have that reciprocal agreement, so you kind of ask yourself, are people that live in North Jersey that work in New York sort of disadvantaged versus those that live in South Jersey. So I think it's something that could be revisited. I think if the lieutenant governor were to win, she has said she won't increase taxes, so that removing the reciprocal agreement would be considered an increase or being interpreted as an increase in taxes for individuals working and living in South Jersey and working in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Ralph. But while you're on stage, I'll ask you this one too. Will P10 fees be reimbursed?
Well, I think the jury's still out on that question, but there is a site that you can go to where you can ask those questions and keep informed about what's happening around that. I think the initial court decision suggested that the IRS could not charge a fee for issuing P10s because it did not provide, in their mind, value, if you will, just by the assigning of a P10 number. So that website is going to be available. We'll have it on our website where people can go and find out information about what's taking place regarding the whole refund of P10.
That's great. Well, thank you both. And thanks for joining us. And plan to attend our next edition of Issues Watch, which will take place on December 15th at 9 a.m. In the meantime, feel free to check njcpa.org, which is our website. NJCPA Pulse is your email newsletter, and the open forum for updates on the topics we discussed today and more. Thank you.